Hey everyone, thank you for tuning in for another video review. Today I'm doing something brand new that I have not done before. In the line of mostly comic books, I've done actual comic book reviews in the past, way back when, I kind of first started my YouTube channel. And if you followed me on my personal account or my Facebook page, Twitter, anything, you'll know I'm a big CGC comic book collector and slabber. And over the past maybe 2 years, I've had maybe 30, 40 slabs come in, either purchasing off eBay, going to conventions, submitting myself, or purchasing through other people, trading, this and that. And it's something that I really, really enjoy. I absolutely love CGC. They are my favorite company, the only company really that I deal with. And I haven't had the chance to do any video review of sorts before, but I just got the brand new slabs in. If you've been following CGC and know that they changed their slabs over because their old company didn't make the slab material anymore or whatever the situation was. But I just got in three books with the new slabs, and I'm really excited about them. I absolutely love each one. And let's take a look, and I'll do some comparisons with the old slabs. And yeah, let's take a look at these. So the first one, and by the way, all of these books were submitted at Long Beach Comic Con back in February, I believe, and these came in last week. So it took about 3 months, which is actually the longest I've ever had to wait. Usually they come in about 2 months, maybe less than that. But no worries. I know CGC has my back on that. So here is the first book. It is a sketch commission by Danny Silva. I had him do a Jack Skellington and Ghost Rider mashup or crossover. I do apologize for the glare. This will be kind of a quick, just simple review. When I get a full haul review or a full CGC collection video up, I'll use my camera, my actual camera, so it'll be you can see everything better and it won't be a glare and everything. But just wanted to get this out there real quick. So here is the sketch if you want to take a look. And it came back as a 9.6, signed and sketched by Danny Silva on February 21st, 2016. And this is the Ghost Rider #1 from September 2011. And then, as they've said, the number itself is bolder and larger, and the white pages have moved underneath the number. Overall, it is pretty, pretty spacious, if you want to say. It's pretty much the same also layout, just a few of the headings are moved over or aligned differently. Taking a look at the back, we don't have all the text here, and again I'll bring up another book of the older one to show you the difference. But it's basically blank. It'll have the title, the year, and the publisher, as well as the variant, which is the sketch variant or sketch edition for this one. And then the other side will have the serial number, as well as the grade and white pages and the CGC logo at the top. So there is the first book. The second book is an X-Men #1 from October 1991, graded at 9.8. This is the X-Men issue that had the 5 covers, I believe it was, the 5 variant covers and the gatefold cover. And this one, 9.8, like I said, this is the one signed by Chris Claremont. If I can catch his signature right down there. So this is the one of the 2 of my favorite X-Men covers that they did, so I was really excited to have this done, and hopefully add Jim Lee to this one, because the other X-Men that I also have, it was signed by Jim Lee last year at San Diego Comic-Con, or no, Kamikaze. Yeah, Kamikaze, that's what it was, and I had Chris Claremont sign it as well, so we have Jim Lee's signature there, and Chris Claremont right there, yeah. And this came back as a 9.4. Again, the X-Men from 1991, the Chris Claremont story with Jim Lee and Scott Williams art, and this is the first appearance of the Acolytes with a Magneto appearance and a double gatefold cover with no ads on this one. And this one says the same thing, except, well, it says the first appearance of the Acolytes, and then 4 different covers exist that form a single image. Now, this one actually was my very first reslab. Like I said, I had it signed by Jim Lee back in October, I think that's when Kamikaze was, yeah, around Halloween. Came back at 9.8, actually. Then at Long Beach Comic Con, had Chris Claremont sign it, and unfortunately came back at 9.4, which I'm kind of surprised, but I'm not sure exactly how it was handled. But this one had never been graded, and I actually had this pressed as well. I sent it off for pressing through CGC's sister company, CCS, I believe. And for all I know, it could have been a 9.8. I was just worried because this one kind of had been in my storage a little bit longer. So I guess I should have sent this one too. But, if I get Scott Williams to sign it, I wouldn't mind having him sign it and press it again. And this one I would love to get Jim Lee signing it as well. So a few things I want to point out as well, the differences. For the most part, the old slabs were all flat, but the slab itself. But this one, you have the little raised indent here. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. Kind of, just barely, yeah. Right there. It's a little bit raised, and the backside is actually indented, like kind of like a shelf, if you want to say. You can see it really well right there. So that's a whole different outlook or design of the slab itself. And the biggest thing that people have been saying and complaining about are the wrinkle effects or the wavy effects of the books, because the books apparently don't fit in the slabs, which I didn't take a look at before, but looking at them now, I find no issues. I mean, all my books are flat. It could just be issues with older books, Silver Age, Bronze Age, all those. Could just be Modern Age that doesn't have that effect, but all my books are fine. And then the Newton rings, those wavy, oily marks that people freak out at. Oh, does my book have water damage? Is there oil in it? What's that? Honestly, it is such a hoopla of a complaint. I mean, this book has it the worst, if for lack of a better term. But it is such an over-exaggerated complaint. I kid you not. Granted, these are only the 3 books I have of the new slab. But, looking at this book, I don't know if you can see any, if I turn it, aside from the glare, I don't know if you can see any Newton rings or Newton effects in there. But looking at it here, and at different angles, I see a little, slightly, literally on this corner, right on the edge. And just literally just on this edge. And that's about it. I mean, no matter what angle I hold it at, I just don't see any issues. Now looking at the 9.4 X-Men, oh, look at that, in the corner above the Marvel logo. But again, when I hold it, at this angle, nothing. Right at the light, at a certain angle, that's about it. Oh, there's just slightly under the signature. Right there. That's about it. And like I said, this is the worst one. I do kind of see the wavy, oily, let me hold it aside, kind of going down the open end of the book right here. But again, when I hold it right to my face, nothing. Under certain light, nothing. Just, this is essentially the angle, if I can get that, a slanted angle with the top facing away from me. And again, just slightly in the corners. It's such a minute detail and a minute issue, if you want to say, that I have absolutely no complaints about it. Granted, again, because I know there's going to be those people that, will say, oh, you only have 3 books. But, a lot of other people get their first batch in and they're already complaining. So, that's all I have to say about that. There really is nothing to complain about, especially if you have it displayed and whatnot. I find absolutely nothing wrong with it, and I love these new cases. And initially, the first comparison was saying that the new cases will be a lot clearer, and that the old cases were apparently having a blue highlight, blue him to it, which honestly I don't see at all. I have some books here. I will say the new cases are a hell of a lot clearer. I'll hold up a book for each one. Again, like I said, I'm not doing a full collection, full haul video, but just to show some books. This was a commission I picked up from Scott Blair at WonderCon this past April. I have a ton of his work. This is on a Star Wars #1. It's a Ray commission with BB-8. And again, granted, I have the glares and light and whatnot. You can really see the new slabs are a lot clearer. And just so you can see it too, it doesn't matter which side. The new slabs are a lot clearer. There we go. But I never noticed any like blue light, blue wave, blue him, hue, blue, what, you know, whatever you want to say. I would always hear people say, oh, it looks blue, looks blue. No, not really. Not at all, actually. So the second book I'll compare is a Superman Unchained #1 Neal Adams variant, signed by Jim Lee, Neal Adams, and Scott Snyder. Yep, that is all. I picked this up on eBay for a steal. Super excited for that. Again, they both look great, but the new one is a lot clearer. And height-wise, let me try to get these both flat. At least we can measure at the top. The new slab is just a smidge, if that, a smidge taller. Like, you can't even notice it. And thickness, and this was the thin slab, by the way, the old one. I don't know if the new slabs have the thick or thin option, but you know, you can see it is maybe double the size at the border, but the interior is still a little bit thin. Let me see if I have any of the thick slabs for the old ones. I do not, so I can't compare any of those. And then let me just compare the last set of books as well. It will be a Tales of Suspense number 63, signed by Stan Lee. Had this done at San Diego Comic-Con last year. And again, just the difference at the top, showing it, and then showing the numbers as well. The boldness, even in the camera, you can really see how much darker and bolder it is. And then as opposed to it saying cream to off-white pages here, it'll say, you know, white pages or whatever there. And then the backs of the books, you can see the new slab is basically just clear, and you don't have all the legal jargon and whatnot. You don't have like their phone number. We have their website, that's about it. But like the old one won't have the issue and the publisher and the variant, the new one will. So, you know, and then just the comparison on the back as well. So, you know, thank you, CGC. You've been absolutely phenomenal for everything this past few years, especially for a new collector like myself when I first got into it. It's been an absolute wonderful ride, and I'm excited for more in the future. So everyone, you know, worried about their slabs coming in or just complaining about the slabs if they've already had them, don't complain. I mean, unless it's, you know, a significant, you know, Newton ring, if it's, you know, all over here or whatnot, or just completely blemishing the comic. But no, they're not that bad. The average comic will not be that bad. And you know, and oh, you know what? Did I? No, you know what? The waviness that I was talking about earlier, the inner sleeve is a little bit wavy. I just noticed in the light, but the comic is still flat. So, you know, well, thank you everyone for watching. Stay tuned later on. I'll hopefully have a full video up maybe next week, in the coming weeks. But, you know, as new slabs come in, I'll start doing more haul videos, and we'll go from there. Thank you, everyone.